Welcome to Dreamed It, Then Real Lifed It, the podcast where we dive deep into the journey from vision to reality. I'm Kelly Jackson, your guide on this path of self-discovery, transformation, and intentional living. Here, we explore everything from mindset shifts and personal growth to spiritual alignment and entrepreneurship, sharing insights, stories, and actionable wisdom to help you live a life in harmony with your dreams. Every episode will dig into what it means to not only dream big, but to actually consciously create the life you envision. Let's turn your dreams into real life. Okay, guys, if you're hearing my voice, chances are you probably saw the title of this episode, Be Delulu Until It's True. Now, I want you to think lighthearted spiritual badass meets grounded manifestation coach. This is the energy I am showing up here with today. And I'm here to remind you that you are the creator of your reality and that a little Delulu energy is often the missing spark when life feels too realistic and restrictive. And so this episode is going to empower you to reclaim the fun and the fantasy and the full body yes that comes with dreaming big and believing hard. Guys, I got to tell you, this actually was inspired from a conversation I had with my mom. I said this the other day, be Delulu until it's true, I think in a text, and she had never heard this before. And I said, oh, well, it's quite common lingo on the manifestation side of the internets. And so I want to talk a little bit about it. And then I kind of realized, I'm like, you know what? I think this is actually a really good topic to dive into, the energy of Delulu and what it really means. Because let's be real, being, quote, Delulu has gotten a bad rep. And here's the truth. This trend, it's dripping in manifestation gold. Being Delulu is about being so energetically aligned with your future vision that the universe has no choice but to start rearranging things to match it. It is not about being unrealistic. It is about being unavailable for anything less than what your soul came here to experience. Your nervous system might call it unsafe. Your soul calls it home. This fear that we feel when we dream big is just a signal that we're stepping out of conditioning. And being Delulu is like choosing soul logic over survival logic. Okay, you're not crazy for believing that it can happen for you. You're conscious. And your vision chose you. And if you see it and feel it and believe it, it's already real somewhere in the field. I mean the quantum field. And being Delulu is just you deciding to live from the field first. And in the quantum field, all things are possible. And the quantum field, it's energy. The 3D world catches up to your energy. It's not the other way around. And what I mean when I say that is that your inner energy and vibration and consciousness has a profound impact on your external reality. So the 3D world, or your physical reality, reflects and responds to your inner energy. This means that your thoughts, your emotions, and vibrations influence the experiences and circumstances that you attract into your life. That implies that your energy precedes your manifestation. So your energy, your vibrational frequency, it sets the tone for what manifests in your reality. And then there's inner transformation. So changing your inner energy leads to changes in your external circumstances, which is why we say if you want your outer world to change, you must first change your inner world. And when your inner world changes, your outer world must change. And then there's also this element of personal responsibility. Like you have the power to shape your reality by managing your emotions, or rather your energy and your vibrations. Okay. I want to keep going. And keep in mind, there's practical applications for this too, like mindfulness, self-awareness, energy management, all of these sorts of things. But I wanted to elaborate on that a little, because I want you to understand what I'm saying. The 3D world, aka the reality that you're experiencing around you, the world around you, it catches up to your energy, not the other way around. Meaning, you don't wait till your circumstances change before you change your energy. You get out ahead of it. Regardless of what the circumstances are, regardless of what you're seeing, regardless of the number on the scale, the number of zeros in the bank account, the person standing or not standing next to you, the relationship status, the job status, the financial status, the health status, regardless of any of those things, any of those external circumstances, what you have to hear is that the 3D world catches up to your energy, not the other way around. If you are dissatisfied with any of those areas of your life, and you decide that, well, I'll start being happy, joyful, satisfied, etc., when these things change, you got it backwards. This is the important thing you need to hear. You got to get out ahead of it. When your energy changes, regardless of what you are seeing, regardless of the circumstance, regardless of the chaos, of the challenge, of the contrast, of whatever the 3D is showing you, it is up to you to energetically align with the version of you that already has the thing that you want, not the version of you that is experiencing the circumstances in your physical reality, because it's your energy that shifts everything. And so if you can vibrate high, even if you're experiencing your physical circumstances, your 3D reality is currently not what you want, quote unquote, desire it to be, you got to feel good anyway. And you got to get out ahead of it. And this is where that, you feel good. And then the external circumstances change to match your new energy. It's not, well, I'll start feeling better when my circumstances change. Okay? Now, and if you're listening to this podcast, guys, you may already know this, because you're the kind of person who you go first, right? Your belief becomes the evidence. I truly believe, if you're tuning into this, that you know this on some level. And look, just because we know something, though, and this is a good reminder, that doesn't mean that we're integrating it. And we can have all the knowledge and we can know this, and this may not be the first time you're hearing this. And so my question for you is, are you integrating this? Are you embodying this? Because Sometimes we know all the things to do, but we're not doing them. It's not common practice, common sense, but not common practice type of thing. So, yeah, I wanted you to hear that. Now, remember, again, we're talking about the energy of Delulu right now and what it really means. And there is a version of you who already lives it. This is a concept that I certainly believe. And, if you imagine it, there is a version of you on some timeline that exists, that has done it, that you can tap into, you can get advice from, you can channel, you can embody, you can become them. And so there's this idea of, there is this saying, something I say, not just me, this is known, that the way that you become, so say you have an idea of this version, this vision that you have for yourself, and the way that you become that person is by being them every day. You have to be them before you become them. You have to show up as them every day. There's something Neville Goddard said: assume you already are that person. If that assumption is persisted upon until it becomes your dominant feeling, the attainment of your ideal is inevitable. So what I'm saying is this, and so there is this idea, become him, become her, right? We're on this journey of becoming the version of us that we most want to be, the most authentic, the most fulfilled, the most vibrant, whatever. So we're becoming this version of ourselves. But here's the thing. And again, you have to be them. The way that you become that version of yourself is by being them every day. You have to wake up. You have to make choices as them before you are them. What does their morning look like? What does their day look like? What kind of habits do they have? How are they spending that? Right? You have to know ahead of time, what does that version of you look like? And then you have to show up as them now. But here's something I want you to hear a little spin on that. You don't have to become her. You don't have to become him. You don't have to become them, whatever you are. You just have to tune in to that version of yourself. Delulu energy is quantum energy, and it is not fake confidence, guys. It's soul memory. Okay? Your soul has a blueprint. And if you're on this, if you have had an awakening and you are on this journey of realizing your soul's blueprint, right? This is a soul memory. That version, you're being called to this for a reason. Being Delulu isn't about lying to yourself. It's actually about finally telling yourself the truth about who you are and what you want. So, you know what? Let the world call it delusion. We'll call it devotion. Okay? Now, main character energy, guys. Okay, you are the lead, not the side plot. Your life is a movie, and your soul is the director, and you are the star. But too many of us have been conditioned to live like background characters, and we're apologizing for our magic, and we're dimming our light, and we're trying to make other people feel more comfortable, and we're waiting for someone else to hand us the script. And this segment is your reminder that you own the plot twist. There, I said it. You own the plot twist. Guys, you don't have to earn center stage. You already are the lead. So stop waiting for permission. Main character energy is a decision. You get to walk into every room like you belong, because you do. There's this little saying that I love. It says, let your energy shift the whole vibration of the room when you walk in. Right? And so allow that confidence. I'm not saying arrogance. I'm just saying the confidence of knowing that you get to walk into every room like you belong, because you do. And allow that confidence and your bright energy and your joyful personality to, again, shift the energy, the vibration of the entire room when you walk in. You can do that. And let it be in a positive way. I will encourage you maybe not to, walk into a room that was, everything was going really good. And then you walked in and it was like, wonk, wonk, wonk. We don't want to bring that kind of energy into the room, but we're the main character energy. So you don't have to earn center stage, guys. You're already the lead. Walk in. Not that it's all about you, but you can walk in and bring that energy that only you have, and you can bring that to the space. Okay? And you can positively impact the lives of others. And, just your energy can help raise the vibe of the whole room. And another thing I want you to keep in mind is that your habits shape the character that you play. So if you want to live the dream life, then ask yourself, well, what would dream you do today? Would they shrink back, or would they show up? And you can ask yourself that in every situation, in every scenario, okay? What would dream you do today? And then, being the main character doesn't mean being perfect. It means being present. And actually, I think perfection is pretty unrelatable. Who's perfect? So perfection's unrelatable. So again, being the main character doesn't mean being perfect. It just means being present. And so think of every movie you've ever loved. The lead is relatable, and they're evolving, and they're flawed and radiant. And guess what? That's you. So stop outsourcing your plot to other people. It is your job to choose the love story, the success arc, the glow up montage. Don't let somebody else write your ending. I mean, this is your story. This is your life. Guys, main character energy is not about ego. It's about embodiment. And when you remember who you are, the whole story shifts. And spoiler alert, it's a happy ending. Okay? This reminds me of something that I saw that I wanted to read y'all. Okay. I wasn't expecting. I paused it, and now I've looked it up so I could read it to you. Okay, it says, playing it safe is the riskiest strategy. The biggest regret of people on their deathbeds isn't failing. It's not having the courage to live authentically. Imagine spending 80 years on this planet, following a script someone else wrote for you, only to realize you were a supporting character in your own life. F that. Go big. Take the risk. That's something, it looks like Kendall Toole is who said it. I don't know who that is. It was just something I read once and screenshotted it, because I agree with it. Imagine going your whole life only to realize you were a supporting character in your own life. Guys, we're not here to do that. And let this be a little wake-up call if maybe that's what you're doing. No, we're doing something else now. Okay? We're doing something else now. Main character energy. So I want to keep going. And I want to talk about how our reality is shaped by repetition. And I'm going to give you all some daily Delulu practices, okay? And it's, cute to believe in the vision when you're high vibe, but the real magic happens when you practice the belief daily, even when things look the opposite. Okay, so being Delulu becomes powerful when it's not a vibe and it's a practice. So let's make it practical. Starting with Delulu journaling. What if it all works out? Okay, what if it all works out? Instead of going down the what if this happens wrong? What if this goes wrong? What if I don't get this? What if, no, we're not going to do that anymore. What if it all works out? What if it's even better than you imagined? I want you to start your day with a single question. What if it's already happening? Write from the version of you who's living it. Let that version of you speak. Get out the way. Okay? Let that version of you speak. What if it's already happening? You have to trust that everything is happening behind the scenes, that all of the cooperative components are falling into place, everything's aligning, and what if it all works out? What if it's even better than you imagined? What if it's already happening? What if it's already done? Another thing that you can do is voice memos from your future self. Record pep talks and listen to them on your walks. Channel that version of you who already crossed the threshold. And this is going to be more powerful than you realize if you've not practiced this yet. Now, and going back to the Delulu journaling, also just future pacing, scripting, just writing it out ahead of time. That's kind of what we're talking about. Now, let's talk about a wardrobe frequency upgrade. Now, I like this. Dress like that version of you now. Speak like that version of you now. Move like that version of you now. When you embody the energy, you accelerate the manifestation. It's all about embodiment is key here, guys. So I want you to realize you can truly, you don't have to wait. You can, whether, I know, let's talk about some of these shifts. There is, I've said this before, but even fabric, everything is energy, and even our fabrics have vibrational frequencies. Synthetic fabrics, look at how our clothes are sourced, look at how we acquire them, how they came into our life, where did we get them from, what was the process, what is the material of this fabric. Some clothes make us feel really good and some don't. And so are there some things in your wardrobe that are just synthetic fibers that don't feel good, that are low vibrational, that are, that just maybe it holds energy that doesn't feel good anymore? What can you do about that? Let's do a wardrobe frequency upgrade, okay? Now, and if you didn't, tune into that episode, Spring Cleaning for the Soul, Decluttering Your Space and Mind. Guys, that one's a gem, okay? Now, mini meditations. Okay, drop into the vision. Visualize future you, that version of you, visualize their morning routine. What do their relationships look like? What does their bank account look like? What is their joy level? Feel all of those things as if that's you right now. That's what you do in these little mini meditations. You feel the elevated emotion. You get yourself into that place of tapping in, tuning in to that version of you that's already experiencing all of the things. And then how does it feel? And you just allow yourself to feel it as now. Okay? You don't become this version of you through force. You become them through frequency. And being Delulu isn't about pretending. It's about practicing until something is second nature. And again, remember what I said Neville Goddard said before. Assume you are already that person. If this assumption is persisted in until it becomes your dominant feeling, the attainment of your ideal is inevitable. So everything, energy, frequency, vibration. And another thing that, going back a little bit to the quantum field, remember this, so often we tend to try to force things in the 3D, like matter moving matter. And it's a lot easier to move things in the energetic field. And there, in the quantum field, because there it's energy, everything is energy, okay? And so whatever, let's say you're on a healing journey, maybe you got a diagnosis and you're trying to, or just something, and you're trying to use antibiotics or something to move. You're using matter moving matter. Or maybe it's weight. You're on some sort of journey like this, and you're pushing yourself, and you're working out, and you're doing all these things, and you're just so much of matter trying to move matter. And what I want you to hear, what I really want you to hear, and you can tune into the episode on unlocking potential meditation in the quantum field to get deeper into this and to understand the science behind it. But what I'm telling you is that there is another way. Energy moving energy. There's so much less resistance in the quantum field. And we sometimes force and try really hard and try to work really hard to matter moving matter here in the 3D, in the physical reality. And you can release a lot of that resistance, and you can energetically move things and shift things and transmute things and alchemize things in the quantum field where it's energy moving energy. And that shift, there's so much less resistance there. Okay? And when you change, again, the things on the inside, then your external reality changes too. So I'm just saying that sometimes you might be physically working harder, like the matter moving matter. You need to do less and be more. Less doing, more being. Okay? More tuning into that version of you and feeling the elevated emotions of it, that it's already done. Okay? Now, let's talk about from Delulu to True and the glow up, because the glow up is real. Here's the truth, guys. You were going to look back on this chapter and realize you were never delusional. You were just early. And people who thought you were too much, they may wish they had the courage to go first, meaning before they see it. They believe it and then they go. The life that you're manifesting, it's closer than you think. Proof doesn't come first. Belief does. Every dreamer was called irrational until it worked. And you're not behind. You're ahead of the curve. Look at it that way. Your energy teaches the world how to treat your vision. And when you treat your dream like it's sacred, and like you believe in it, well, others will start to treat it that way too. I want you to celebrate micro evidence, the text, the invite, the synchronicity. It's all part of the shift. And every breadcrumb is a sign. So don't miss it. Okay? You are becoming undeniable. So let it be fun and let it be weird and let it be yours. Okay? The only delusion is believing that you're not worthy of the dream. You were never too much. You were just meant for more. And now it's becoming true for you. Okay? Guys, if you are riding the Delulu wave and you're ready to live your true, come find me. This is the kind of work I do, turning energy into embodiment and dreams into decisions and visions into real life. And my coaching containers are where belief meets action. And you don't have to hold the vision alone. You don't have to figure it all out alone. You don't have to do it alone. Okay? I'm here for you. Let's keep going. Delulu does not equal bypassing. Okay? Holding the vision and the human. That's what we're going to talk about. And I want to get one thing straight. Being Delulu does not mean ignoring reality or bypassing the hard stuff. Okay? True quantum dreaming includes your humanity. So what that means is that you can build, or rather, you can hold the highest vision while still processing grief, fear, or doubt. And this isn't about good vibes only, okay? This is about integrity with your whole self. And I want you to also remember that your emotions don't cancel your manifestations, okay? They calibrate them. So you can cry and still believe. And you can doubt and still choose. And you can feel messy and still be magnetic. Okay? So for all of those reasons, though it is why it's important for you to remain focused and intentional. Delulu is not denial, okay? It's direction. You are not pretending that the hard things aren't real. You're just choosing to focus on what's more real. And that's the soul truth underneath the story. Our current lived experiences are a manifestation of our past thoughts, beliefs, and actions. Would you agree with that? Do you believe that that's fair to say, right? That what you are currently experiencing and the way that you're experiencing it is a result of past thoughts, beliefs, and actions and perceptions. And so there's a little bit of a buffer. So even though you may be making huge changes energetically, right? And it may take a little while for the shift to happen in your 3D world, because that's just, it just takes a little bit of, quote, time, okay? And so let's say something is happening in your reality and it's hard. It's freaking hard. Like, it's really hard. And you can be experiencing that difficulty, challenge, contrast in your current lived reality and still know that focus on something that, like, my current situation is not my final destination. I know I'm going through this, and everything I'm going through is preparing me for exactly what I asked for. And I just got to keep going because, there's something more here. It's also, I believe, important to remember that you get to be both the dreamer and the healer. Okay? You don't have to shame yourself for having bad days. Just in fact, do not shame yourself for having bad days. Self-shaming is self-sabotage. Guys, I want you to put an end to the self-sabotaging behavior. You deserve, you're worthy of actualizing this dream, okay? And we're going to, the days of self-sabotage, we're putting those behind us. You just keep choosing the bigger picture, okay? Over and over again. This work, it's spiritual and it's somatic. And it's not just what you believe, it's how you breathe and how you rest and hydrate and speak and care for your body while you're believing. You don't need to fix yourself to be worthy of the dream. So understand that. You need to embody that future version of yourself like we talked about. But your magic isn't in being perfect, guys. It's in being devoted. And even when it's hard, especially then, you want to stay devoted, okay? Here's this other idea I want to share with you about Delulu as a magnetism code, okay? And this law of resonance in real time. Because there is something magnetic about people who are deeply sold on their vision, at least in my experience. And they glow differently. Like they do. And they speak with conviction, and they make you believe too. And this little segment we're about to get into, it's kind of about the energetic mechanics underneath the magic. And that's the law of resonance. And how being Delulu is actually deeply strategic. Okay? People do not buy what you do. They buy what you believe. And whether you are selling a brand or a vibe or a life, your certainty creates safety and your passion invites others in. Confidence is a frequency. It's not a personality trait. And I was actually listening to one of my coaches this morning. I was in Growth Day and listening to Lisa Bayou. She is one of the co-founders of Quest and the health fit. It's like a food brand for like fitness food, I guess, if you want to call it. And she was speaking on confidence and saying that, confidence doesn't come before conduct. Confidence comes after conduct because confidence doesn't always come first. It's in the way you conduct yourself. And it's in the way you hold yourself and the way you believe, and that confidence will follow. Confidence comes after, the way you conduct yourself. And I really liked that. And I'm going to say this here too, confidence is a frequency. It's not a personality trait, meaning you don't need to be loud or flashy. You just need to be anchored. And that inner knowing, that's the magnetism. When your energy is consistent, your results become inevitable. Being Delulu is not about faking it. It is about stabilizing the frequency of course it's happening. Until it happens. Like, I want you to hear that again. being Delulu is not about faking it, guys. It is about stabilizing the frequency of course it's happening, until it actually does. Okay? I've joked with Mom before, certain things in my life that, for instance, I woke up like, today's going to be the day that this thing happens. And then the day goes by and it's not the day that it happens. But then the next morning I'm like, okay, today's going to be the day that this thing happens. And I go through my day with this, vibration of today's the day it happens. And you know what? It didn't happen that day. And so the next day I wake up, today's going to be the day that it happens. And, you walk through every day like something amazing is about to happen. And like I said, it's like you maintain that vibration, and one day that is going to be the day that thing happens, that you align with it, that you removed enough of the blocks that were preventing you from allowing yourself to receive it, because that's actually what it is, right? And okay, but that's for a whole nother talk for a whole nother day. So I just want you to hear this. You attract not what you want, but what you are. Okay, so you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. So become the walking embodiment of your dream and let people feel it just by being near you. They can feel it. Okay? Your resonance is your resume in that way, and your belief is your branding, and your Delulu energy, well, that's your superpower. At least that's the way I like to look at it. So when the dream starts to land and you're integrating the true in real life, well, what does that look like? Let's talk about it. Because eventually your Delulu does become true. And when it does, it can actually feel surreal and awkward or even uncomfortable. And this final segment that we're about to get into is about, what do you do when your manifestations start manifesting? Because guys, that's what happens. And sometimes it's like an avalanche. One thing manifests, and then it's like a domino effect of all of these other manifestations to follow. And so how do you let them land without sabotaging or shrinking or second guessing? This is important. Your nervous system might try to reject the thing that you asked for, and that's okay. Expansion is intense. So you got to breathe through it and let it be safe to receive. And so this is something that I intentionally practice ahead of time. If I know there is something huge that is so out of my comfort zone that I have that this current version of me has not yet experienced in the 3D, maybe in scripting or in journaling or in visualizations or in meditations, I have tapped into the version of me who has received it. But this version, this current version, 3D reality is not yet manifested in the 3D. And so what I will do in preparation for that is begin to train my nervous system to receive it. So start to actually use words like, I am safe to receive this person. I am safe to receive this money. I am safe to receive this job. I am safe to receive this client. I am safe to receive this opportunity. And continue to truly, out loud in the mirror, write it down in your journal. I am happy and excited. I am safe to receive this. I'm happy and excited to receive this, whatever it is. Because if your nervous system does not feel safe receiving its first $1 million, then you're not going to receive your first $1 million. If your nervous system doesn't feel safe receiving that partner that you've been dreaming about, then you will find ways to sabotage that relationship. If your nervous system does not feel safe to receive that new position, that new raise at work, then you won't get it. Okay, you have to hear this and maybe there's something on a subconscious level that raised that promotion at work, that your nervous system is afraid that it's going to require more out of you, that you're going to get less sleep, that there's going to be things that you're afraid of. And so your nervous system, maybe, you're afraid of what it's going to call of you, what it's going to require of you. Maybe you're afraid you're not going to like it as much as you thought you would, and then you're going to be stuck there. There's so many things we could be afraid of. And so what I'm saying is, if you have not trained your nervous system to feel safe receiving the thing that you've asked for, your nervous system might try to reject it. Okay? And that's okay. But just understand that expansion is intense and you can breathe through it, and just let it be safe to receive. And I want you to celebrate and then stabilize. Okay? So once your manifestations start manifesting, I don't want you to just move on to the next goal. Anchor this one, guys. Let it root in your body. Own that this is your new normal. Okay? Like, be with it for a minute. Be with it for a minute. And notice if you start to downplay or normalize your dream. I want you to honor how far you've come, and you don't have to shrink it to stay relatable. Okay? That's a big one, because we dim our light, we shrink it, we want to be relatable, we want people to, to accept us, we want to belong, and you can be humble without having to shrink it down to stay relatable. There's a difference, okay? And so find that sweet spot is all I'm saying. I also want to mention that your dream life isn't a peak moment. It's like a new foundation. Okay, it's not just some peak moment you're going to strive for and I hit my peak and then, it's all downhill from here. No, guys. No, actually, this is a new foundation. It's the solid foundation on which you've rebuilt your whole life, okay? And from here, you build again. And from here, you dream bigger. And from here, you lead. And the moment that you realize that you're living what you once only imagined, that's sacred. Let it humble you and let it stretch you, and then let it remind you that this is just the beginning. The better it gets, the better it gets. I want to thank you for spending this time with me, and for dreaming big, and for stretching your soul, and for daring to believe in things before they make sense on paper. This kind of work, the frequency work, the energy shifts, the identity expansion, it's not just a cute podcast content, guys. This is the foundation of how you build a life that blows your own mind. And if you are feeling the pull to go deeper, and if you're ready to turn this dream energy into real life alignment, success, joy, and when I define success, or the way that I define success, is not strictly by some of the external markers that maybe I once defined success by, the big house, the new cars, the this, the that, the other. Nope. Success now is a combination of three things: optimal health, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, positive relationships, personal, professional, intimate, and wealth building. And these are that's kind of the trifecta, and that's how I define success. That yes, you can, the traditional markers, but not at the expense of your health, physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual, or at the expense of maintaining, building, nurturing positive relationships, personal, professional, and intimate. And then joy. And I want you, so if you are ready, like I said, to turn this dream energy into real life alignment and success, and joy, then I want to invite you into my world in a bigger way. I work with people and souls who are ready to step into the next version of themselves in life, in business, in love, in purpose. And the ones who are done waiting for permission and who are ready to create what they see when they close their eyes, if that's you, you're not crazy, friend. You're on to something. And I can help you bring it to life. And you can head the show notes. You can head to the show notes, and I will have some more information there about working with me. Guys, whether you are just planting the seed or you're already seeing the sprout, keep going. Stay Delulu. Let your energy lead, because if you can dream it, you can real life it. It's going to become true. I believe in you. I'll see you next week, friends. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in to Dreamed It, Then Real Lifed It. I hope today's episode sparked something powerful within you. Remember, every step you take towards your vision counts, no matter how small. If you enjoyed today's conversation, please take a second to hit that subscribe button or leave a review. That would be amazing. Or share the podcast with someone who's ready to bring their dreams into reality too. And if you're looking to dive deeper, connect with me on social media at Dreamed It, Then Real Lifed It, or at BE_what you want. Or visit dreameditthenreallifedit.us for more resources on aligning your life, business, and dreams. Until next time, keep dreaming and keep manifesting your dreams into real life. Love you, friends.